Craig Caudill is a survivalist expert and the director of Nature Reliance School. Craig, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, good to be here.
Craig, you teach survival and wilderness navigation courses. What are some of the ways that the suspect, Robert Card, might be avoiding capture at this time?
Well, it's one of those things where he has to be on the lookout for his own needs, not necessarily his wants. We know he's a little bit, if not a lot, of mentally unstable. So whether he's thinking clearly or not is questionable. But he's going to be needing to find things to take care of his personal security, so that he doesn't run into some sort of situation in nature, for example, that causes harm to him, as well as sheltering and water in quick succession. So in that situation, he's going to be looking for those things to take care of his needs, and that's basically what he's going to be searching for.
Yeah, I think most people think about food and water right away, but tell us about this area. It is very rural, this area of Maine. I mean, you mentioned and kind of allude to animals and wildlife and potential other threats out there as well. I mean, he presumably does have an assault rifle, but tell us more about this specific part of the world.
Well, in that part of the world, there's always going to be any sort of wild animals, such as large mammals, that could bring harm to him. This time of year, things like venomous snakes are not going to be an issue. But more than anything, it's him evading law enforcement and him bringing injury to himself. The terrain's not going to be hospitable to him, and law enforcement's going to be doing a great job. They're doing a good job already, and making sure that he's in a position where he's not going to be comfortable, and that's a good thing, to be bringing him to justice.
How long can an average person usually survive in a setting like this? And then what would you expect from someone like Card with the background and the training he has as a hunter and fisherman?
Well, your typical hunter and fisherman doesn't necessarily understand survival as a person like this would be needing to have to last long term. So a person's going to be okay for about 3 days without much resources. After about 3 days, without getting proper hydration, his body's going to start failing him. And when his body starts failing him due to dehydration, then he's not going to be a functioning human. His body's not going to work right. He's not going to walk. He's going to be incredibly tight and stiff. And particularly in a situation where he's being pushed in an environment that he's not comfortable with, then he's going to be dehydrating a lot faster than your typical person.
You know, it would be important to also not leave signs behind as well. And we know Dre Clark was monitoring canine units driving through the area. Would the suspect be likely to be aware of this investigator and police tactic? And how might a survivalist respond?
Well, I doubt seriously that this gentleman is capable of doing that, from what I've read and researched on this particular situation. Law enforcement in that area is incredibly well trained, and they know how to handle that situation, so that whatever he's doing, even if he is evading, he's going to be able to be found due to law enforcement's, and what I would consider their expertise in the area of being able to track, whether it's a visual man tracking situation, whether using technology, which obviously they're using a certain amount of technology, and canine. The combination of those three is going to be the thing that's necessary to be able to find this individual.
Okay, Craig Caudill, I appreciate your time and expertise. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.